In a world where a large number of directors in the studio system are just people who are given a list of shots and are allowed minimal to no creative freedom, it is so refreshing to see a film that feels like a director made a film that they wanted to make and the money was given to them to make this film. That's why I commend Warner Brothers heavily for letting George Miller return to the Mad Max franchise to make a prequel to Fury Road about the character Furiosa, and giving him the large amount of money required to make this film excellent, despite the fact that his last film, 3,000 Years of Logging, a fairy tale for adults, was a severe box office bomb. And it just saddens me that audiences didn't see this movie in a theatre, resulting in it to flop hard, only making $173 million on a $168 million budget. Because, quite frankly, Furiosa is fantastic, and everything that modern Hollywood is not. Let me explain. Hi all, I'm the Grinning Critic and I love talking about movies with a grin. Luckily today I can talk about Furiosa with a massive grin on my face, as I love this movie. The musical score and effective use of sound mixing add a significant amount of depth to the scenes, helping increase their tension. And the makeup and costume design is incredible. The performances from the actors is incredible, in particular that of Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth, who brings a perfect balance of enthusiasm and ruthlessness to the role to enhance the character. The editing of this movie is done really nicely, especially in 2 montage sequences. But where the movie really impressed me was in the directing. The level of skill and energy that George Miller brings to the table and imposes upon this film through his immaculate direction is mind-blowing. The action scenes are handled very well, and there was not one bad choice done in terms of how this movie was shot. Every shot was taken with great purpose and care. If George Miller does not win Best Director, I will seriously question the Academy. Now, I mentioned in the opening of my video that this movie is everything that modern Hollywood is not, and I'll talk about that a bit more here now. Hollywood seems to struggle nowadays in writing new characters and franchises without making them destroy what's already been established. It's terrible that they do this, but anyway. Luckily, in the case of Furiosa, none of this is present. Furiosa is a very well-developed character who doesn't destroy the legacy of a pre-established character for her actions. She is just a great standalone character in this Mad Max universe who's been written really well through some highly effective storytelling methods. The movie takes place over a period of about 15 years, where we see Furiosa go from a young girl who was kidnapped to becoming a warrior, and through telling a story over such a long period of time, this helps the audience care and connect to the character. The movie is able to explore this really interesting subculture that I was really interested in, and I love the lore of this place. But the thing that I loved most about this movie is a massive spoiler. And I'm not going to touch on it to avoid unnecessary spoilers because I really want you guys to go and see this movie, so I'll vaguely talk about it. All I'll say is that the revenge aspect of this film is brutal and works perfectly for this film. If you want a good example of how to write revenge, look at Furiosa. Now, as far as any flaws go, this movie has some pacing issues. After Furiosa meets Praetorian Jack, there are a fair few scenes that, yes, do serve a purpose to the overall story, but feel rather monotonous. That's not to say that they're bad though, that's just to say that they were dull and repetitive. And there's this idea that gets briefly touched on, but gets forgotten about pretty quickly, and I wish that idea got explored further. In conclusion, George Miller is able to bring his wonderful kineticism to create a wonderful movie that should have earned so much more money at the box office. I'm going to give Furiosa an A-. Now thank you so much for watching, and I'm the Grinning Critic, and don't forget to subscribe to me. It'll keep me grinning, that's for sure.